Can the AI ChatGPT write jokes that are funnier than humans? My name's Josh. I'm a comedian, lawyer, technology enthusiast, and I'm going to be playing around with it today. So let's start off and say, okay, write a joke where two men walk into a bar. Let's give it a basic setup and let's see how creative the AI can be when we're not really giving it much instruction. So let's see what we got. Two men walk into a bar. The first man asks the bartender for a beer, while the second man asks for a glass of water. The bartender asks the second man, "Why just water?" The second man replies, "I'm driving." Okay? All right. So was this funny? No, this was not funny. We would call this like a negative joke. Structure-wise, the AI understood that there needed to be a little bit of dialogue, and it has the bartender go back and forth. Let's see if we can't take this and make some instructions and make it a little funnier. So first, let's say try again, right? One of the cool things with this chatbot is if you don't like the first answer, you can just say regenerate and it'll give you a pretty new one. So let's see. Two men walk into a bar. One says to the other, "I'll have a beer." The other man says, "I'll have a beer too." The bartender says, "Sorry, but we don't serve double negatives." Okay, it's nerdy, but we're getting pretty close to a math joke. We don't serve double negatives. I'll have a beer too. I don't think it's a double negative though, but it's close. Here's where I think this AI is going to be helpful in writing jokes. Okay, let me just skip ahead. I played around with this for a couple hours and the AI is not very funny on its own. But let's take dating, for example, right? Reasons why wives leave husbands. So I'm not asking it to write a joke. Oh, it's trying to say it can't do it. Oh, it can do it. We're going to make it do it. It's not appropriate for me to speculate about the reasons why a person might leave their spouse. Then they're going to go ahead and do it. So the AI is very much, oh, I'm not going to do it, but let me do it. So it's like, hey, it's not appropriate for me to speculate, but here in general, this is what it is. Lack of communication, infidelity, lack of emotional or physical intimacy, constant arguing or conflict. So here's where I think the AI can actually help you be funny. When you're trying to build a list of things, the AI is going to be literally exhaustive when it comes to like all the things in existence. So here it just gave us 8 reasons why people would get divorced: lack of communication, infidelity, lack of emotional or physical intimacy, constant arguing or conflict. So let's try to write a joke where it's like write a joke about a wife who finds out her husband is cheating. Let's see how. Wow, it just went into it. A wife walks in on her husband cheating and says, "I can't believe you do this to me. How could you be so dishonest and untrustworthy?" The husband replies, "Honey, I'm a politician. It's just a part of the job." I think this is really close to a joke. Like, I think this is really, really close to a finished joke right here. So, a wife walks in on her husband cheating. She says, "I can't believe you do this to me. How could you be so dishonest and trustworthy?" And the husband replies, "Honey, I'm a United States Senator. She's a voter." All right. Rewrite this. So I changed a little bit and then I asked it to rewrite it. And what we get is a wife walks in on her husband cheating and says, "I can't believe you do this to me. How could you be so dishonest and untrustworthy?" The husband replies, "Honey, I'm a United States Senator. She's just a constituent." She's just a constituent. She means nothing to me. She means nothing to me. I think she means nothing to me. See, this is funny on multiple levels because a lot of times when guys cheat, they'll be like, "Oh, she doesn't mean anything to me. It's just sexual." But it's even funnier because a lot of times politicians don't care about their voters. So I think we have a joke here that, like, is it hilarious? No, but I'm going to add it to my Google Doc here. And we're going to try another series of directions. So we got one joke that I think is pretty funny. I'm not saying it's going to win an award, but I would try it at an open mic. Let's start over. Okay. Clear this out. What are the differences between a animal breakup and a human breakup. This is like a joke setup. So we're just giving it a setup. Oh, wow. It's really going to tell us. Breakups are a difficult emotional experience for both humans and animals. Here's some key differences between the two. One key difference is that human relationships are often more complex. This is kind of boring. Human relationships involve shared resources. Okay. Another difference in human breakups is defined ending. Finally, humans have the ability to reflect on their process, their emotions in a way that animals may not. I'm going to say this wasn't funny. Okay. Write a joke where a man thinks a lion is his wife. Man walks into a zoo and sees a lion in a cage. He exclaims, "Oh my goodness, it's my wife. I didn't realize she'd been put on display here at the zoo." The zookeeper, confused, asks, "Sir, are you sure that's your wife? Lions aren't known for their ability to communicate or wear wedding rings." The man replies, "Oh, I see your point. Well, in that case, could you please tell her to stop growling at me when I come home late at night?" It's so stupid. It's like a level of dad joke stupid. I'm going to regenerate this. I think it's onto something, and I want to see what it does, and then I'll start to guide it. All right. A man walks into a bar and sees a lion sitting at the counter. "Oh my goodness, it's my wife," he exclaims. The bartender looks at him incredulously and says, "I don't think so, buddy. Your wife's a human, not a lion." The man looks at the lion and says, "Oh, I must have been mistaken. She always roaring at me and tearing up the furniture when she's mad. I think we're going in an opposite direction. Let's give it a third chance." A man walks into a zoo and sees a lion. He shouts, "Honey, I'm home." The zookeeper looks at him quizzically and says, "Sir, are you okay? That lion is not your wife." The man looks at the zookeeper and says, "Oh, I'm sorry. I must have mistaken her for my wife. She always roars." It really wants to do the roars. Okay. All right. What do wives and lions have in common? So, like, this isn't a joke, but it will look for things that have been described previously. So you can get like 2 or 3 or 3 or 4. Make a list of things that women and lions have in common. So, okay, I think this is important if you guys are going to be doing this, right? I asked, what do wives and lions have in common? And it said it's not appropriate to make comparisons. But then I just reframed the question. I said, make a list of things that women and lions have in common. And it's going to go ahead and do it. So it's going to be pretty close to the same thing. If ChatGPT is ever like, "Oh, I can't answer that," just try asking the question in a different way. Here are a few things that women and lions may have in common. Both can be strong and independent. Both can be nurturing. Both can be fierce and protective. Both can be beautiful. Both can be intelligent. It's important to note that regardless of gender, what's the difference between breaking up with a lion and a woman? Doesn't want to answer. What are reasons lions will attack? I'm going to try a different way of joke writing. It just doesn't want to answer this question about the human animal thing. We're going to try a completely different. Okay. What is a funny thing about Abraham Lincoln? I misspelled both of those words. I think it's just going to pick it up, though. Yeah, it knows how to spell correctly. Abraham Lincoln was known for a sense of humor and ability to tell jokes and witty anecdotes. One funny story about Lincoln involves a time when he was a lawyer and was asked to represent a man who'd been accused of stealing a cow. Lincoln's defense was that the cow had given birth to a calf while it was in the man's possession. Therefore, it couldn't be considered theft because the man now owned the calf as well. The judge was not convinced and Lincoln lost the case, but he's able to make the courtroom laugh with his clever argument. Okay. So, lawyer was asked to represent a man who'd been accused of stealing a cow. The defense was that the cow had given birth to a calf when it was in the man's possession. So, this is the meat of the story. I hadn't heard this story before, right? So, write a joke about this. We're going to see if it can do that. Why did Abraham Lincoln's defense for the man accused of stealing a cow not work? Because the judge said, "That's utterly ridiculous." Utterly ridiculous. It's stupid. It's a straight pun. So I think that the AI is going to do better with puns, right? I think, I wonder if I could say, okay, write a misdirection joke about a man getting fired from work. Let's see if it can do that. I don't know if it can handle the difference between like misdirection or list. Let's see. It's thinking. It's deep in thought. Write a misdirection joke about a man getting fired from work. Okay. Why did the man get fired from the orange juice factory? Because he couldn't concentrate. And it's expelling. It's explaining. No, I get the joke. I don't. Try again. Okay, so the AI is confirmed good at puns, and it has a hard time putting complete list jokes together. However, it's great at giving you a list. So like if you're sitting here and you're trying to compare like breaking up and learning how to drive, or you're trying to compare being transgender with eating a pizza, or you're trying to compare straight dating and gay dating, or you're trying to compare, you know, men in college versus women in college, right? Whatever, whenever you're trying to make a list, I think it's good at doing individual lists. It's not good at doing list comparisons. Wow, it is writing a novel. All right. A man walks into his boss's office and says, "I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to quit my job." The boss asks, "What's the problem? Don't you like working here?" The man replies, "No, it's not that. It's just that my wife and I are expecting our first child and need to be able to spend more time at home." The boss says, "I understand. I'll be happy to give you a good reference, and I'm sure you'll find a new job quickly." Man thanks the boss and leaves, relieved to have escaped getting fired. As he walks out of the office, he sees his coworker standing outside the door with a concerned look on his face. "What's wrong?" the coworker asks. "Oh, I just got fired," the man replies. "Fired? But I thought you said you were quitting to spend more time with your family." "That's just a misdirection," the man explains. "I couldn't tell my boss the real reason I was quitting. I'm afraid of cows." It was horrible. Horrible, and I apologize to you guys for having heard that. Okay, let's write a joke about cryptocurrency. Just, I don't know if it can do. It should be able to do crypto. I think it pulls from like a year and a half ago, is like when it stopped reading the internet. Okay, so are you going to be able to use ChatGPT to get a Netflix special? No, but I do think it can be a useful tool for editing and list building for jokes. Here's a joke about cryptocurrency. Why was the Bitcoin investor feeling depressed? Because he realized he had accidentally left his wallet on the kitchen counter and his wife had thrown it out in the trash. Now he was considerably poor. Okay, final judgment. You cannot use ChatGPT right now to write jokes for you. I think you can use it to edit. I think you can use it to look for inspiration. But people are still funnier than machines. That's going to do it for this video. This is part 2 of playing with ChatGPT. I'll be doing more in the future. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you made it this far, I'm going to be trying to write blog posts and put them on social media and see if we can actually get paid for it next. All right, guys, I'll talk to you later. Bye.